What's up guys, Dawson here, back with another Battlefield 6 video. Today we're taking a deep dive into Battlefield 6 Season 2 update. A couple of days ago on March 13th, DICE and EA made a huge announcement. There's going to be a major update coming to the game on March 17th called Nightfall. This is one of the biggest updates the game has received so far, not just in terms of content, but also in terms of fixes, polishes, and overall game stability. So if you've been waiting for Battlefield 6 to feel more complete, or you're just curious about what's changing, this breakdown will walk you through everything you need to know. So Season 2 Nightfall launches alongside Game Update 1.2.2.0, and the two together basically reshape the game's pacing. It's going to be a lot of focus around close quarter combat, and changes how visibility works. Nightfall is built around darkness, actual darkness that affects gameplay, not just a visual filter. And the update brings things like a new map, new modes, new weapons, new vehicles, a major RedSec expansion, and hundreds of fixes across every part of the game. So let's start with the core theme of the season, because that's what everything else is built around. So Season 2 Nightfall is going to be all about underground combat and low visibility engagements. Instead of the usual wide open Battlefield chaos, this season is aiming to push players into more tighter, darker, controlled environments. The darkness isn't just going to be aesthetic in this case, it's going to change how you move, how you aim, and how you communicate. You're going to rely on night vision goggles, flashlights, muzzle flashes, and sound cues. And because the new map and modes are built around this, it'll force players to slow down, check their corners, and think more tactically. It's going to be a very different feel from the usual Battlefield 6 experience. Now let's talk about the new map. It's called Huggental Base, and it's the centerpiece around this update. This is going to be a fully underground bunker complex, and it's probably the most close quarter combat focused map Battlefield has released in years. Everything about it sounds tight, layered, and designed to create more tension. You'll have narrow tunnels, branching corridors, small rooms, and multiple vertical layers where you can breach walls, collapse ceilings, and use the environment to create new flanking routes. It's the kind of map where a single squad can control an entire section if they communicate well. And because it's underground, there's no long-range sight lines. You're not going to see sniping across the map. You're not sitting on a hill with a DMR. This is purely close quarter combat, where SMGs, shotguns, pistols, assault rifles will be the play. And because the lights are cut in most modes, you're going to be constantly switching between your NVGs and your weapon sights. If you like close quarter gameplay, this map is going to be a highlight, and if you prefer long range engagements, this is going to push you out of your comfort zone in a good way. Now with the new Nightfall update, we'll be introduced a dedicated playlist that rotates between Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, and Domination, all on the new map Huggental Base, and all with the darkness modifier active. This means most of the lights are off and you're navigating using NVGs, your flashlights, and the environmental lighting around you. The darkness isn't pitch black everywhere, but it's going to be dark enough that you can't rely on your usual visual instincts. You'll see silhouettes, reflections, and movements before you see the full detail. It's going to be a very different kind of feel. Then there's Gauntlet Nightfall. This is an elimination style mode set entirely in the underground complex, where each round is short, intense, and punishes mistakes. Flashlights become a double-edged sword. They help you see, but they also give away your position. NVGs help, but they limit your peripheral vision. It's going to be a mode that rewards awareness and patience. Later in the season, we're also getting a limited time event called Red Bull Supermoto. It's basically a dirt bike knockout tournament where 8 players enter. There's going to be 3 rounds and only 4 make it to the final. It's going to be fast, chaotic, and a fun break from the usual gunplay. Now RedSec players are getting a major upgrade with this update as well, with the addition of Defense Testing Complex 3 at Fort Linden. This is going to be a newly accessible underground chemical testing facility with a network of tunnels and high rarity loot. This area adds more verticality and more risk-reward decision making, If you push deeper into the complex, you'll find things like better gear, but you're also fighting in tighter spaces where you're more likely to get third-partied. The new tunnels also create new routes that connect different parts of the map, so this changes how you'll rotate, how you'll escape, and how you'll chase down other squads. They say it's a meaningful expansion, not just a cosmetic addition. Now they also announced that they will be dropping 2 new vehicles, 2 new dirt bikes to be specific, the M1030 M1 and the TMO 450. They're supposed to be lightweight, fast 2-seat vehicles designed for mobility, not combat. They're going to be used for flanking, repositioning, or escaping when things get messy, and they will both be available in Battlefield 6 and RedSec. Now Nightfall is also bringing in the game 2 new weapons. First is an SMG, the CZ3A1. This thing will have a very high rate of fire and built for aggressive close quarter combat. It's going to be perfect for the new map. And second is the VZ61 automatic sidearm, which will basically be a pocket SMG. It fires extremely fast, is meant for emergency situations where you need to finish a fight quickly. We're also getting new attachments, a 50 MW violet laser, multiple attack light variants, and a hybrid sight for the CZ3A1. These all support the darkness mechanics and give you more ways to manage visibility. Now this is also big. There's going to be a free trial week, so from March 17th to the 24th, Battlefield 6 is going to be completely free to play. If you've got friends who haven't tried the game yet, this is going to be the perfect time to bring them in. They'll get access to 4 maps, 6 modes, and all of the new Nightfall content. Now let's talk about the update itself, because this patch is huge. It touches almost every part of the game: vehicles, weapons, gadgets, bots, maps, progression, UI, audio, and more. Vehicle improvements, so we'll cover these really quickly. Light vehicles will now have the ability to flip themselves upright. Helicopters land more predictably. Tanks will brake faster. The UH-79 health has increased by 20%, and camera behavior and physics improved across all vehicles. They made some adjustments to equipment, so anti-tank mines despawn after 180 seconds now. Mortars will be more effective and easier to use. I'm curious to see how that is, what changes they've implemented there. They also increased drone visibility, and there's a ton of fixes for grenades, mines, deployables, and spotting tools. These changes were aimed to help clean up gadget spam and make support tools more reliable. Some weapon improvements. There were new weapons added. They fixed the behavior on the bipod. Apparently there were some issues there. ADS transitions and recoil patterns were cleaned up, and animation issues across multiple guns resolved. Weapons should feel smoother and more consistent, especially when switching between ADS and hipfire. Some bot and AI enhancements. They say bots can now use bikes and scout helicopters, and should have better pathfinding and combat priorities. This makes PvE modes and RedSec feel more dynamic. Map and mode fixes. Issues across Mirak Valley, Siege of Cairo, Eastwood, and Contaminated were addressed, and the fire range dummies should behave more consistently. They also did an overhaul to the progression, so early ranks level roughly twice as fast. Sidearm XP requirements reduced by about 60%, and Battle Pass and Challenge tracking fixed. Progression finally feels fair and consistent. UI and HUD cleanup. They mentioned better ping feedback, a clear downstate UI. They fixed some icons, missing skins, broken menus, and incorrect notifications, and improved the minimap clarity and threat prioritization with smoother control navigation. This is one of the biggest UI cleanups the game has had. Wrap this up. I'm gonna give my closing thoughts. Season 2 Nightfall is a major step forward for Battlefield 6. The new map and darkness mechanics will give the game a fresh identity. RedSec gets meaningful expansion, and the patch fixes a ton of long-standing issues. So if you've been waiting for Battlefield 6 to feel more polished, this update gets it much closer. But the big question now is how players will adapt to the darkness mechanics, because that's going to shape the meta for the entire season. But overall, I think that this will be a strong update with a lot of depth. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Please leave your comments below and let me know. I'm curious to hear what the community feels about this update and this change to the meta and the game itself. If you enjoyed this video and you appreciate the update, please give a like, and also if you want to see more Battlefield 6 content in the near future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for all the love and support, and I'll see you in the next video.